A new Reaper build is currently emerging. It's very aggressive, even more than the old one, and it's a hybrid build. So if you want to know more about this build, stick around, I will explain all you need to know. I'm Surma, and let's jump right in. So, like I said, it's a hybrid build. You will want to run Tyrant Amulet therefore, and it's a really strong amulet because it will give you power and condition damage as a major stat, and precision and toughness as a minor stat. So you will lose out on the vitality you normally would get from the Carrion Amulet, which you would run on a classical Condi Reaper, or Condi build in general most of the time. But for Reaper it's really good because normally vitality would give you some more life force, and therefore you increase not only your normal life pool, but also the life force pool. And then you lose that from Tyrant Amulet, but you get toughness, which is good because you're a light armor class and you don't have any increased armor, so it will decrease the direct damage you take. For Relic, you will take Relic of Reapers. Relic of Reapers. Sorry. So Relic of Reapers, of the Reaper, will chill enemies when you use a shout skill. It's the same like you would use in the old Condi Reaper build. By the way, if you want to see that video, I also have a build guide up for that. So then you want to use Rune of the Lynx because it gives you movement speed and also some nice hybrid damage. For weapons, you will want to use Staff and Pistol, and it's the new one, Focus. So on Staff, you will run Cleansing and Energy. You could swap if you really feel like it. You could swap Cleansing to Intelligence, for example. So the next attack after you swap to Staff will crit. And if you use then Putrid Mark, which is the hardest hitting skill on this weapon, it will guarantee to crit. And as you have a lot of power damage, it could result in a nice damage burst. But I feel like some, let's say, defense of this sigils is good. The aggressive weapon set is your pistol and your focus, and therefore you have, let's say, more aggressive sigils on there. I feel like exposure is really strong because it will give some more damage to your skills that follow up, because 5 stacks of vulnerability is 5% more damage if you land it. And then you will want to run plus the Severity Sigil, which will grant more stun duration and even more damage against stun foes. This is really good because you can stun with this skill and it's longer, and then you can deal more damage after that. And of course this is a stun as well, and if you hit it on melee, your Chill to the Bone will be a really long stun, and if there's no stun break anymore, it's for sure that the enemy is dead, most likely. So this sigil is really good. So be aware that if you want to min-max your stun duration, you should always try to land Chill to the Bone on this weapon set. So if you play this build in push, or in, let's say, a more not roaming style, so for example 2v2 or 3v3s, then I would swap Lynx Rune to something more, let's say, aggressive, because you don't need the movement speed for that in the most part if you're just fighting. So for example, if you're fighting another Reaper or multiple even, then I would swap to Swanee Rune. This is because you will decrease the chill duration that is incoming on you by 66%, and your outgoing chill duration is even increased. So you get more aggressive by prolonging the chill duration you deal, but you will at the same time decrease the offense the enemy has on you, because they apply a lot of chill with their Reaper build and you would decrease it a lot. But for the most part, if you are playing that in normal Conquest, I would always go for that Lynx Rune. So now to the traits. For the traits, you actually want to run Death Magic and Reaper, of course, like in the old one, but you will swap Curses for Spite. That's actually a really interesting development, because Curses was a really strong option since the beginning of time almost for condition builds on Necromancer. And now you will use the power trait line, because you're hybrid, to dash out some more damage. But let's start with the normal Death Magic trait line. So you get carapace stacks. It's almost the same. If you want a detailed explanation on why death magic is good, be sure to check out my Condi Reaper build. So you remove some conditions here, you get some more power and condition damage. It's really good in a hybrid build for each carapace stack, of course, because you will want to deal both damage types. You get damage reduction and you get some protection from having enough carapace stacks. So this straight line gives you protection, it gives you a lot of defense with Condi cleanses, but it also gives you a lot, I mean really a lot of stats. It gives you toughness, power and condition damage. If you stack it to the maximum of the carapace stacks, you have 300 more power, 300 more toughness and condition damage. That's insane how much value you get from the straight line just from raw stats. On Reaper, you will want to run the Chilling Nova because you chill more like with this, and you crit actually on this build, so you proc it more often actually. Then whenever you fear, you also inflict chill, which is really good because every time you chill with this trait, you will also inflict bleeding, and you inflict a lot of chill because, like I said, this trait gives some chill, this trait gives chill, and all your shouts with the Relic of Reapers give also chill. And then you get some chill duration up and more damage, which is actually good because you're a hybrid build, so the damage increase is actually worth it. And then Decimate Defenses is a really aggressive trait, so every time you hit someone that has vulnerability, you get more crit chance per stack on the foe. So that's actually could give you 50% crit chance. That's really strong. So you will almost crit cap just by using this trait if there is enough vulnerability, and you can stack quite a lot of vulnerability. We get to that in the next straight line. But if you feel like you can't get value from this because there are too many cleanses or this trait doesn't provide you enough offense, you can go to this trait, which is a little bit more defense, because you will get life force every time you strike a chilled foe, every second that is, and also some might. So this is, I would say, the more well-rounded one, but if you need more aggressive options, you should go this one, because this build is, let's say, the more aggressive version than the Condition Reaper build. You trade some, let's say, defense and tankiness for some really strong offense. So now to the Spy trade line. That's the new powered trade line you want to run in this build. You make it a hybrid. So your Shroud skill 1 grants might. It's nice because your hybrid condition damage and power damage increase. Nice. And you can stack that up quite easily because auto-tagging is not that hard. And then you will deal increased damage while down, not that important, but you inflict vulnerability every 10 seconds, 5 actually, when you hit a target below the health threshold of 50%. This is, the 10-second interval is only for one target, so you can hit it multiple times if you have multiple targets. So you have quite a lot of vulnerability application just from this minor trait. And then you get some might application when you hit targets below the health thresholds. That's also very good, so you have even more might. And you will want to run Chilling a foe inflicts vulnerability, really strong, because that has no ICD, so you can apply it with the shouts, with all your chilling skills, and you can stack up vulnerability quite easy, so they get increased damage, which is good, but you also have a higher crit chance against the targets. So that's why you have a lot of vulnerability on the target most of the time. Then you will want to run Chill of the Death. It's almost like the normal Spinal Shivers, just not that much damage. It applies chill, vulnerability, and removes wounds, which is really good because this meta is really boon reliant. So if you can remove a lot of boons, that can lead to the death of the enemy. And you also apply a really long lasting chill, 6 seconds chill if you proc that. It's really great. And you proc it by just hitting a target when it's below 50% health. And this is on a 20-second cooldown. And then you have, every time you go in Shroud, you will do X3-ish skill, which will convert wounds of the enemy. It did convert, now it's just removing up to 2 boons if you are if they are below the health threshold, and it will also cripple them, and you get some resolution. So that's really nice. You have even more boon removal. That's why I said you are quite aggressive, because from this trade line you don't get any defense. It's just removing boons and chilling, applying vulnerability. So you have a lot of offense from this trade line, and that's why this build shines if you have a support always on you. If you don't, you feel like much more squishy with this build, because you don't have the weakness application from curses, and you also lack some boon corruption. You don't have corruption in this build, just removal. Okay, so that's it for the traits. And now to the weapons. Staff is clear, it's nothing new. You will want to run pistol, because pistol is really nice setup and some really good damage, and the stun. And focus is the, let's say, focus is the power part of the weapons. The force skill is just applying some heavy vulnerability if it lands, and you heal a bit from the life siphoning. But most importantly, it gives you 11% of your life force, so it's a nice life force skill if you can land it. It's quite a huge range, so be aware of that. Also, it's an ammunition skill. And then your bread and butter of your focus is the Spinal Shivers. So this hits really hard if it removes 3 boons, almost 2k, and you can crit, and you even have some might. So this skill can land for 4 to 6k even, you know, it's really strong. Especially since you are a hybrid build, not only a power build, so you take value from power damage to this extent. That's actually insane. And it chills 6 seconds, removes 3 boons, and applies vulnerability. So it's a really strong skill if you can land it. Be sure to, let's say, combine it with setup skills like stuns or emobs you can get from allies. So it lands for sure, because it's so important. And then you have your classical Shroud skills. Be aware that if you go into Shroud, you get this AoE around you, like you could see just now, which will remove some boons. And also you have some really nice might application on your one. But let's say the playstyle is rather similar to the classical Condi Reaper build with the execute or stun here. And the just condition application. Just the 2 skill is not that strong anymore, because it will, in Shroud I mean, because it will not corrupt boons anymore, so you just should use it as a repositioning tool, not for anything else. Maybe the blind is useful, but it's so hard to land because it's a little bit clunky, so to say, to use. And of course the 3 skill in Shroud is really strong for defense and some fear application. So the healing skill and the other shouts are just similar, really strong shouts even after the nerfs. This is an unblockable and a boon remove as well. Some vulnerability, which is really good on this build, of course. And then some more chill here, and every shout will give some chill from the relic. And you can swap Spectral Walk if you feel like it to You Are All Weakness. It's a way shorter cooldown, 20 seconds, and it gives you some weakness to the enemy and some might. So it's a really strong stun break. But I feel like in most cases, Spectral Walk is just superior, even though it has a way longer cooldown. So change that to whatever you like more. In general, this build is really strong, especially in 2v2 or 3v3s, but it can also perform really good in Conquest. But I would say the main feature here is that you are very aggressive and you lose some, let's say, sustain or defense from losing curses and also going for less effective life, so to say. And therefore you will really want to have a support with this. So if you have any questions about this build, please let me know in the comments. I will be happy to answer it. And thanks a lot for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. And if you want to see more content like this, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.